Five Nights at Freddy's is a series that's over 11 years old now, which is honestly still crazy to think about, by the way. I can't believe 2014 was that long ago. But more importantly, this means we have gotten a lot of content over the last decade. This includes the games, the several books, the movie, and lots more recently. And debatably, the best part of every new installment is getting to see what new animatronic the series has cooked up. Over the last 11 years, there have been so many different animatronics, it's been hard to even keep track of them all recently. But with so many different animatronics in the series, it got me wondering one day, what is the FNAF community's favorite animatronic? And then, almost 200 days later, I got my answer. And between you and me, it was a little obvious from the beginning. But I hope you stay with me till the end to see who ended up winning the 2025 Favorite Five Nights at Freddy's Animatronic Award. So before we start, I want to explain how I chose the animatronics. But if I'm being honest, this was the first time I had done something like this, so I could have done a lot better on who I picked for this tournament. But I did have a strong idea of who I didn't want in the tournament. Since I had specified that the tournament would be to find out the favorite animatronic, I excluded all the human characters in the series like Henry or Michael Afton. I also excluded any characters from the books or the movie to keep the tournament only about the games. As for which animatronics I did include, well, I did say there were a lot of them. But for now, let's go over how this tournament worked exactly. So I set it up to be a single elimination round tournament where one animatronic would be put against another one every day in a poll I would put on my community post, and whoever lost was eliminated. Simple. But with that all out of the way, let's discuss who was eliminated in round 1 and why. So here are the losers of round 1, and out of the 71 of them, 22 are from FNAF AR alone. Which, let's be honest, that game pumped out a lot of skins, and while some of them were pretty good, most of them were meh at best, which explains why they were eliminated first. Another big portion of them are just different staff bots I put in there. 10 of them were eliminated this round, and let's be honest, I don't think anyone could have missed them. There were some more understandable eliminations here and there that I won't really cover, but the ones I really want to talk about are the ones I didn't think would get eliminated round 1. Withered Freddy, Nightmare, Jacko Chico, Lolbit, Glitch Trap, Danny, and Monty were all eliminated this round. And that really surprised me because they're pretty mainstream characters in the series, but I guess that wasn't enough to save them from elimination. Now then, something to point out is round 1 is just one of 2 huge elimination rounds before we get into the real interesting characters. So let's see who couldn't get past round 2. Here are the losers of the second huge elimination round, and just like the last one, there are a lot of FNAF AR skins and a lot of random staff bots here as to be expected. And a group that was present last time but I didn't mention were the Bender animatronics from Pizza Sim. So like, the rock stars and the mediocre melodies got eliminated here. But just like last time, there were some pretty surprising eliminations that I thought would at least be making it to the next round. Animatronics like Toy Chica, Ballora, Funtime Foxy, Lefty, The Mimic, Jackie, Scott, and Old Man Consequences really surprised me for not making it to the next round. Though if I'm being honest, the more I think about it, I actually understand why most of them did get eliminated. Like Toy Chica, I can see being the least popular of the toy animatronics because honestly she isn't even very scary, even when she does take off her beak. As for the Fun Times, when you look at the 4 of them, Circus Baby and Funtime Freddy are represented way more than the other 2, especially in Pizza Sim, when Baby becomes Scrap Baby, and instead of continuing as Ennard, it seems like Funtime Freddy takes over most of the control of their amalgamation. Speaking of Pizza Sim, I can see why Lefty would be the least popular scrap animatronic because they are just a recolor of Rockstar Freddy with the puppet inside of them, which you can't even see unless you get the rare back alley screen showing it. But with that, out of the almost 200 animatronics we started with, there are only 64 left, which includes everyone from FNAF 1, most of FNAF 2, only Springtrap for FNAF 3, most of 4, a little bit of Sister Location and Pizza Sim, a couple of FNAF AR skins here and there, and then a few picks from the rest of the games, which includes the only staff bot that made it to the top 64 and a fan favorite alien bot? Weird, but whatever. So from here on out, with every round, fewer of them will get eliminated till we eventually get a winner. So let's see who got eliminated in round 3. With this round, we lost some really popular characters that just couldn't make the cut. But I do think this round did a good job at weeding out all the characters who barely got into the top 64. I'm looking at you, Alien Bot. So that the ones who moved on are animatronics I could honestly see being someone's absolute favorite. Like, we got rid of almost all the FNAF AR skins except for one. We got most of the kind of reskinned characters or broken variants of characters out. So what we have left is a pretty solid top 32. And like I said earlier, you could honestly make a pretty strong case for why every animatronic here could win. Which means going into round 4, some very popular animatronics are going to have to get eliminated. So let's see who those are. See, I told you some very popular ones were gonna get eliminated. We lost Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica all in this round, plus Mr. Cupcake. We lost Toy Bonnie and the Puppet from FNAF 2. We lost both versions of Nightmare Bonnie and Nightmare Rion. We lost Ennard, 8-Bit Baby, and 2 versions of William, basically with Spring Bonnie and Purple Guy. And then from Security Breach, we lost my personal favorite, Glamrock Freddy. Rest in peace, my superstar. And let's see, we also lost the Sun, the Blob. Wait, the Blob? How did he even get this high? Well, I guess it doesn't matter now because he's gone, but I don't know how he even made it this far. Anyway, we move on to the top 16 for round 5, and, well, every single one of them are heavily debated to be the best character in this series. But of course, there can only be one winner. And we are only a couple rounds from finding out who that is. This is going to be the last round where I don't talk about the actual polls themselves, because next round we're only losing like 4 animatronics. So I think it would be cool to talk about who they actually had to face against and see why they got eliminated. But for right now, here's who got eliminated in this round. Golden Freddy, Mangle, Nightmare Freddy, Funtime Freddy and Bonbon, Helpy, Scrap Baby, and Fredbear all got eliminated this round. And while I won't go into specifics, I vividly remember Golden Freddy had to fight Wither Golden Freddy in the polls, and the poll was stuck at 50-50. And I had to actually make an announcement asking you guys to keep voting on it just so I could actually pick a winner between them. And Wither Golden Freddy barely took it. But with that, there's only 8 animatronics left and only 3 rounds to go to see who got eliminated next. So the first poll of round 6 was Withered Bonnie versus Withered Foxy, and the winner was Withered Bonnie, and he actually won by a lot. In fact, most of these were blowouts, but I feel like we should talk about them anyway. The next fight was Foxy versus Nightmare Fredbear, and Foxy won by almost a whole third of the votes, and it means that there are no more Nightmare animatronics in the running for the win. Next was Springtrap versus Shadow Bonnie, and this one wasn't even close. Springtrap won with almost 90% of the votes and left him in the dust. Finally, it was Grim Foxy versus Withered Golden Freddy, and Withered Golden Freddy destroyed him, securing his spot in our top 4. And man, what a top 4 it is. Literally any of them could win this. But let's see who didn't make it to the finals. The first round of the semifinals was Withered Bonnie versus FNAF 1 Foxy. It looks like Foxy couldn't outrun those face puns because Withered Bonnie dominated him. And then we have Springtrap versus Withered Golden Freddy, probably the most canonical matchup we've had in the entire tournament. And it looks like William does indeed always come back, because Withered Golden Freddy lost their spot in the grand finale. So I could just say who won, but that would feel almost anticlimactic. I think it would be better to analyze both of our finalists to see what about them makes them so popular to get where they are right now. Let's start with Withered Bonnie. Starting right off the bat, I'll just go ahead and say that Scott absolutely nailed the withered aesthetic when making Withered Bonnie. With all the other animatronics, you could just sum up the withering to some small tears here and there in the suit, and that's about it. But Bonnie, he's missing his arm and his whole face. Not only is this design cool, but it helps him remain creepy and scary in every game he's in. I mean, no wonder Scott opened the FNAF 2 trailer with him. Just those tiny red eyes alone make him look like something you should stand a good 10 feet away from. His voice lines in UCN are a fan favorite because of the face puns he makes about his lack of a face. Not only that, he has a lot of jokes in the fandom that make him a core part of the franchise, whether it's Toilet Bonnie or his mean right hook jump scare in The Joy of Creation. It is no wonder why Withered Bonnie got so popular to end up in the grand finale for the favorite animatronic award. And then we have Springtrap. And man, what an animatronic he is. Springtrap, being the killer of the missing children trapped inside the suit he used to lure and kill them, is just amazing character design alone. Then if you look at his actual motto, it perfectly shows just enough parts of the rotting corpse inside so that it isn't obvious at first, but once you take a closer look, you realize that there is indeed a body in there. You gotta love how after being trapped in a room rotting for 30 years, that maybe that would have given him some time to think and regret his actions before being spring-locked, but no. The second he gets out of that room, he goes right back to killing. And based on his amazing voice lines, he loves doing it. All of this has made Springtrap one of the most iconic characters we have ever seen in this series. But of course, only one of these powerhouses can be the winner. So I uploaded the poll and we had a total of 346 total votes for the final one, which is more than we have ever gotten in any polls in the series. And the winner has a whopping 73% of the 356 votes. But before I announce the winner, I just want to say thank you to every single person who voted and commented in these polls over those 200 days. It was the most fun I ever had with YouTube, seeing what you guys had to say about your favorite animatronics. But without further delay, the winner of the 2025 favorite Five Nights at Freddy's animatronic goes to Springtrap. What's there to say that we haven't already said? He got a whole Dead by Daylight collab chapter for him, and there is no question why. He's simply one of the most unique character designs in the entirety of Five Nights at Freddy's. Congratulations to Springtrap and all the other finalists for being awesome animatronics for us to enjoy. That concludes the favorite animatronic polls. I hope you guys had as much fun doing these as I did. If you missed out on getting to vote in these polls, don't worry, because we are doing another set of polls where you guys are ranking the FNAF games from worst to best right now. So go place your votes in those if you'd like, because those will probably also get turned into a video once they're done. I know this tournament wasn't perfect though, so if you have someone you wanted to see in the polls or have any suggestions for if I decide to do it again, please let me know in the comments below. And also, let me know who your favorite animatronic was. I mean, there is a lot to choose from. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.